you'll hear that. Okay, great. All right, first, I just want to thank you all for coming and being here live. It's always great to have participation and engagement in these, and I don't have to talk to myself, so that's always fun. So I do appreciate that. And I am curious, I've lost my pen. Okay, I am curious if you guys have done a vision board, or you have set goals, or if you've done neither, but you're here for the stuff. So if you want to share, if you want to take your mic off and share, you are welcome to do that. If not, I will give you the option to put in the chat 1 for vision board, 2 for you've just set some goals, and 3 for I'm just here to find out the stuff, which is totally fine.
Well, I did a vision board. You can kind of see, whereas I don't know how to point. You can kind of see a corner of it back there in my it's in my office on the wall, and it makes me happy to see the pictures and my ideas just on a daily basis. So it's a good reminder of where I'm headed or where I want to head.
Yes, I love that. Anybody else?
I did a vision board and set some small goals with you, Jacklin, but I cannot find my small goals.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh,
that is fine. And mine is behind me back here. I did a physical board this year. In the past, I've done digital boards, and so this was my first year to do a physical one, and it was quite fun. I do like having the physical reminder as I walk in my office each day and see it. So that's been really good for me. And I know Crystal's having some internet issues, so she'll probably pop back in here in a minute. But either way, we can still review and look forward to the rest of the year, regardless of where you're at. If you did a vision board, if you just set some goals, or you're just kind of wondering what the rest of the year holds. So don't worry about that. If you wanted to create a vision board, I have that as a virtual workshop type thing. So if you want to learn more about that, I can share that with you. Just let me know if you want to put something in the chat, and then I can get that to you afterwards. Okay, so we're going to dive into the worksheets, and if you haven't printed them out, that is totally fine. I'm going to tell you what they say, and if you have a scratched piece of paper, notebook paper, whatever, you can still walk through these questions with us. And so Crystal just texted me and said she's having internet issues, which I knew. So let me just reply to her real quick. Okay, there we go. All right, so our worksheets we're going to spend a part of the time looking back. And I purposely have not done this yet. I've done a little bit, but I'm going to do this with you guys. So just know that I'm going to be right along with you, looking at my board and writing down some things as well. Our first question is just to look back and what did you accomplish this quarter? Or if you would rather to do this year, you can do that. So up until this point, we do these little check-ins each quarter. And so you can do that either way. I'm thinking I'm going to do so far this year, what have I accomplished? And so I'm going to let you guys do that. I think I'm going to share my board a little bit and just show you what it looks like. So let me grab it off the wall. It's a little big, but I sectioned mine off, and not to talk all about me during this, but just to give you an idea. I have mine kind of in sections. This is kind of my work. I have a goal to reach 100 hours of coaching, which I've shared with some of you about that, and doing more collaborations and meeting new people, We have our vacation planned over there in the other corner. Family time is kind of down here in the bottom. Health and fitness in the middle. And then on the lower other corner is kind of home. So decluttering has been a big goal of mine the last, well, so far this year. It's just an ongoing journey. It never ends. So that's something I'm trying to continually work on. And then there's a photo album down here, and I'm going to talk more about that later, but that's going to be part of my goals for the last half of the year, is organizing my pictures and photos and things. So I am going to set this over here, and we're just going to take 3 minutes and jot down the things that you feel like you have accomplished so far this year. And I'm going to do this with you. So okay, that was about 3 minutes. Well, that gave you enough time, but you can continue to think on that as we go through the next question and jump back to it if you need to. The next question is, how will you celebrate? So it doesn't matter if we made small progress or big progress, even the smallest of things we need to celebrate, because progress is progress, even if it's slow progress. And it just helps you stay motivated, inspired to keep going forward. So think about a way that you could celebrate your successes. And I would love to hear If anybody wants to share some of your successes and what you will do, or some ideas you might have to celebrate. I think sometimes that's hard for us to come up with something to celebrate. Jennifer, I can see that you joined the group. I'm not sure if you have video. You don't have to turn it on. I just want to give you a quick update. We are working through the worksheets. We just started, so we just went through what did you accomplish this quarter, and now we are on how will you celebrate. If you haven't gotten those worksheets, they're in the email that I sent out, and they're in the Facebook group, and I've also put them in the chat. So if you have any questions, just let me know. You guys are focused. Now, if at any time you don't want to speak, I totally understand. You can write in the chat box if you would like to. So, trying to make sure my chat's open here. Okay. I did post the worksheets in the chat if anybody needed those. Okay. Who's willing to share some accomplishments they've made so far this year? Okay, Peggy Ann?
I wrote and published, self-published and led an Easter reading plan and Bible study this year, including a private group on Facebook. And I was really thrilled with the response I had in the group that I had, and it was, for me, a real success. So I was really excited about that. So I'm hoping to do the similar thing for Advent as well. So I'm kind of starting that, working on that now. Another thing is I'm a member of Flourish Writers Academy, and so I've been working on a couple of other writing things too. And I submitted a proposal for a story with guideposts, and I was selected to write. So I'm really excited about that because that's my first paid writing gig. So
That's awesome.
so that's pretty thrilling.
Cool.
And
Yes.
I write for a couple of Facebook groups as well. I just do monthly devotionals for a couple of groups on Facebook as well. And I read a lot. I have a goal of reading 50 books this year, and I'm up to 27 now. So those are my big highlights.
So that is great.
Cool.
That's really good. So how will you celebrate?
Well, actually, I'm trying to finish my office. I have a home office downstairs, and I had a couple pieces of furniture that needed to be refinished. So this week I made up my mind that, well, actually the end of last week, to get that all done. So I reupholstered a chair. I've refinished a couple of cabinets, and so I'm just trying to get it finally finished. So I've been sitting up here at our island in the kitchen for so long now. I'm getting sick of it. So I want to get my office. So that's kind of my way of celebrating.
All right. I love that.
Yeah.
It's always fun to redo a space that's yours and feel
Yeah.
comfortable in. That's good.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
I'll name a couple real quick. One of my goals was to spend more time with the Lord, and I've have my Bible on the dining table. So before I leave for work every morning, I sit and read, and I'm happy with that. Prompts me to, remember. So that's been very nice. I wanted to see my friends and family more this year, and I've already seen my brother and my mother twice this year, so I'm very happy about that. And I think we've got plans for another, trip or get together coming up, so that's very nice. So those are two things that are really important that feel like I'm working towards. One of the things on my list is to see this man. His name's Jeffrey Gaines, and most people don't know who he is, and that's fine. But he's a singer, and I absolutely love him. I've loved him for 20 years. And our national conference is going to be in Boston, and that's where he plays a lot, is New York and Boston and everything. So I hope to celebrate and to get to do it, to see him when we go to Boston for that trip. So I'm so excited. I actually sent him a message on Facebook. I'm his Facebook follower and said, hey, I'm going to be there, have a concert, so so I would love it so much. It would be awesome to see someone that, you've listened to their music for just all these years and then get to see them in this intimate setting. Because he's, like I say, he's not like I don't know, Garth Brooks or something. Not a lot of people know him, so it's a very, small venue. That would be amazing for me. I would be so happy.
Love that. That is so cool. That's one of your goals, but also a way to celebrate. So
Yes.
that's great. Okay. I will share a couple of mine, and as I mentioned at the beginning, one of my goals is to have 100 hours of coaching this year, and I am at 44, so I'm a little behind where I would like to be, but I have plans to catch up. So I've got several sessions on the books to help me get caught up with that. We had some family time was one of our things, and we've done several things. We've been improving our outdoor space so that we can entertain a little more. So that's been really fun. I mentioned decluttering. That's been an ongoing journey, but I have made progress. It may be slow progress, but it's still progress. And then focus is my word of the year, and so that's been a big emphasis on everything. And so having a focus each month and making a plan for the month has really helped me make progress, if that makes sense. But so those are all accomplishments and wins as far as I'm concerned. And celebrating, I am struggling with that one a little bit. I haven't decided what I want to do there. I'm not the best at celebrating myself, and so hoping that you guys would have some great ideas to share. Like going to get ice cream would be a great idea, but then that kind of mixes the eating healthy one. So, but hey, ice cream every once in a while is not bad. So I think as I'm thinking through this, I'm thinking a little more personal time, like doing some self-care that I don't normally do, maybe go get my nails done or something like that, because that's not something that I normally do on a regular basis. So that's what I'm thinking about. And I love Peggy Ann's idea about redecorating some. So I think that once I get my office decluttered, that there needs to be something like that happening in here. So I'm putting that on the list for next quarter. Making a note here. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, which is what got in the way of you making progress? So think about something that you didn't get done, or you didn't make as much progress as you wanted, and what was it that got in the way? I'll just give you a couple of minutes or so to think about that. any thoughts about things that got in the way? One of the things that seemed to kind of throw me off a little was some health concerns. And so I had a family member that was having some health issues, and it was just really hard to focus on other things on certain days. You know, that just was all consuming and exhausting and all the things. So that was one thing that kind of felt like was kind of getting in the way of me making progress on some things. But then the next question is, were those obstacles priorities? And it was, right? That was a priority that needed to take precedence over the other things. So sometimes not all of the things that get in our way are really stumbling blocks, right? They're just things that draw our attention away that we also need to deal with or take care of. I watched my grandson for about 3 weeks this summer, in between school and him starting his next phase. And that was not, I wouldn't say that got in the way, right? I blocked off that time. I knew I was going to be doing it. But nothing else got done during that time, right? We played, we had fun, we bonded, we did lots of things, which was a priority. And it was fun. It wasn't something that I would say got in my way, though, right? But it did maybe hinder me those 3 weeks from getting a lot done. But I had made plans for that, so kind of goes both ways. So Peggy Ann wrote in the chat, she's got a girl barking. So she's chatting. The reason she didn't make progress was she had a million ideas and find I'm distracted easily. Oh man, I can relate to that. I can totally relate to that. That's why focus has been such a big word for me this year. Is I have a million ideas and I have to have a place to put those ideas before I can move on and focus on one of them. So I have developed a system that seems to work for now of a place to just put those ideas on the shelf and be able to pick up one at a time and move through them. Because yeah, I get distracted. Shiny objects syndrome, squirrel. I'm off to something else. I can totally relate. Okay. Any other thoughts before we move on to the next question? Does anything need to come off of your plan is the next question. So if you have a vision board, or if you have some goals, or you just have some thoughts of things, are they still goals? Are they still something that you want to do this year or in the time frame you've allotted? Or maybe something has changed and a goal isn't relevant anymore, or at least at this time. So you don't have to answer this one, just kind of reflect and look. And I'll just say, looking at my vision board, there's one thing on here that I would love for it to happen this year, but there might be some things that get in the way of that. And so if it doesn't happen this year, I'll be okay with that. And I will still keep it as a goal, hopefully by next year. But that is one thing that comes to mind. Oh, yeah. In the chat, probably, but it's so hard. It's like giving up a baby for adoption. Wow, that's deep. But yeah, we have these goals and they're ours, and we want them to grow up and become full, and we don't want to give up on them. That's a very good way to put that. But we don't have to give up on them. We can put them up on that shelf, or we can put them on next year's schedule if it's not something that is relevant for right now. All right, we're going to move on to the second part of our session, and that is looking ahead, which is usually much more fun than looking backward. But it's good to look back and see and notice the progress that we've made and identify anything that might have stumbled us. But next, we're going to think about where you will focus on either this next quarter or the remaining of the year. You decide what that looks like. So thinking about your goals, we're gonna do like 3 minutes again, and just jot down where you want to focus in this next season. Okay. It was about 3 minutes. You can always continue on this later if you need to. Was this part easier? Thinking about where you would focus next? Then the next section is going to be, what are your action steps to start working on those focus areas? And if anybody needs some help with this area, and we can talk through that. I'll give you just a little bit of time to jot some things down there on your action steps.
Oh.
And as you're writing those, you may think of resources that you might need to complete those actions. So feel free to jot those down in the bottom square or on your notebook paper, whatever you're using.
Oh.
Okay, how are we doing? Need more time? Y'all are super focused. I love it. Does anybody want to share a focus and talk through some action steps? Opportunity for a little free coaching here.
Well, I'll mention mine real quick. One of mine was to list and sell 30 properties this year, and I haven't hit that goal. But I've had I've got agents that are producing, but I find myself, I'm focused on helping my agents and I'm not taking care of my business every day. So, what am I going to do about that? I actually have, a plan in place, how we sponsored Krebs School last year. I want us to sponsor in a way all the schools in McAllister. So I've worked on contacting principals and find out, hey, can we bring your teachers, a letter or a treat, something every quarter, so we stay top of mind. So whenever you're ready to buy or sell your property, we are the ones, we're the only option. We're right in front of you at all times. So that's one of my goals, is to make sure our office is front and center. And in return, of course, the phone will ring and people will be calling. And I'll also get to go into those businesses and have conversations, which, conversations equal closing. So that's that's what I wrote, is I need to focus on my business some while I'm helping everybody else. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
of course it is. Yeah. So are there resources that you need to accomplish that?
Time. I have to make that a priority, to sit here and make these calls and make a plan. And I know I in my head it works out great. And then I walk in here and today happens, and I have to be more protective of my time.
Mm.
That's
Yes.
my hurdle.
Yes. And that's hard when you have an office full of people needing assistance,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
but you have a plan for that.
Yes. Remind me, hold me accountable.
Okay. Kelly's one of my clients, so I can.
Yes, yeah, I love Jacklin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. We will have a plan in place
okay.
to help you with that.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else want to share? Oh, here we got some chat. Let me go check the chat here. New fencing for my property. Awesome. I already have a name. Just need to contact him. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing. Home improvements can be a big achievement because sometimes they are so difficult in getting done. We had a storm last September and we are still working on getting things fixed from that. So I understand. Contractors can be the worst. And I can say that because my husband is one of them. He does really good at returning calls and if he tells you he's going to be there, he's going to be there most of the time. Okay, Peggy Ann, I need to finish updating my website, pausetopray.ca, as part of my pet parent ministry. Peggy Ann, would you mind sharing a little bit with us about what you do? There may be others here that would want to know more about that. So you're on mute if I can't see your face. There we go.
Basically, it's a faith-based website. It has space where you can look for tips and healing ideas, and just a space to all kinds of information about raising fur kids. My blog is also there. I have two, actually. One is called Spiritual Scribbles, and the other one is called Fur Kid Fanatics. So I have kind of a two-streamer going with it there, but it's all a faith-based situation that I do. So yeah.
All right, awesome. So pause to pray. If you didn't see it in the chat, that's pause, PAWS, like pause to pray.
Yeah.
.ca.
I have Facebook page and Instagram account too. So
Okay.
I'm out there.
So if anybody wants to check her out, you can go find her. Pause to pray. I love that. And we have so many. I hear of more and more that have fur babies, right? That are just, I guess it's the age. I guess that's what it is. We're empty nesters now, and I'm just around more that are also empty nesters. And so we tend to replace our kids with fur babies.
Well, I've always
sometimes.
been heavily into pet rescue, so that's kind of was a natural progression for me. I had a charity that I would raise funds for pet rescue for 10 years, and I retired it a year and a half ago. So this was kind of a natural progression for me to just kind of go from my charity into this. So yeah, that's me. And we weren't blessed with children, so we've always had fur kids. So it's kind of just, that's where my life is.
Yeah, awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. What a great opportunity to help all those little babies. All right, so go check her out, especially if you're a fur baby parent. Okay. Anybody else want to share or have any questions? I'll share just a little real quick. I mentioned already, coaching is my 100 hours is one of my big goals. So I will continue on that. And I know that if I have 3 coaching sessions per week, that will put me back on track and maybe a little ahead of the game by the end of the next quarter. So that's one of my goals. And as far as resources, I'm thinking of places that I can share that with others, so that I can get a few more clients on the books. And then organizing my photos. I mentioned that at the beginning. That is going to be one of my projects for the next quarter. I've just been awful about organizing pictures. I have photo albums and then I have loose pictures. And so I've just struggled with how to do it and how to get started. And I just haven't. So my daughter found these photo organizers, they're picture organizers, physical ones, and they're plastic, and it's hard to explain, but there's like little plastic containers inside a big container, and each little container holds 100 pictures. So in total, it holds 1,600 pictures. And I'm thinking I'm going to organize them by year, and this will be easier because I'm a little not OCD, but I'm a little OCD when it comes to organizing things. And if I were to put them in a photo album and then I find 10 more pictures that are in that year and I didn't put them in the right place, that would really bug me. And so I'm thinking this way will be better. I can put them in these little plastic containers. And then if I find more, as I open up another box somewhere, I can just add them too. It won't be a big deal. I think this is going to help me. I think this is the resource I need to make it happen. I've ordered them. They are here. I just have to get started. And then the other thing I'm going to do is print all of the pictures that live here. So I'm going to start doing that. And I know my daughter told me about an app that is like 85 free pictures a month. And it doesn't cost anything. And then there's, I think after that, they're like 10 cents a piece. And I can't remember the name of it, but Kelly.
It's freeprints.com. I use it too. I have the app, Free Prints. And I can send you a link because then I'll get like 10 free pictures for this month. So please let me invite you.
Absolutely.
If anybody else wants it, send me your phone number and I'll invite you. And then you go invite your friends and you get some free pictures. But I've been doing it for years. Yeah, you get 85 free prints off your phone. You just transfer them to the app and they send them to you, pay for shipping. So you pay like $5. I mean, it's not much. I mean, it's cheaper than Walgreens. And they're good pictures, they're good quality. Yes, it's great.
Awesome. Thank you. That's what I need to do. And I just need to make it a habit. How often do you print yours? Do you do it like every week, every month?
No, I do it once a month. And so usually it'll send me a reminder, hey, your free prints run out tomorrow. So I lay in bed that night and click my 85, and hit send. So I'm a procrastinator, but I do it, and then you get this, and it's nice to have pictures. And if I have a picture of you, or people, I take pictures around the office all the time, and you give them a real picture, people are so happy because no one has a real picture anymore of themselves or their family or their dog. And so if I take pictures of you, I try to give it to them, and it makes people so happy.
Yes. That's awesome. So you've got people in the comments wanting that.
Okay, cool. I'll do that.
And Peggy Ann's in Canada. Would that work for her? Is it a
I would assume. Peggy, I don't know for sure, but if you send me your phone number, I'll send it to you. Then I'll invite you.
You can find out. Yeah.
Yeah,
The shipping may be a little different, depends on where they're shipping out of, but
yeah,
I
maybe.
would think it would still work, but awesome. Okay, well, that's great. It just upped my game on my resources. So that's exciting. I am excited to get started on that. My husband loves pictures. He loves to sit down and look at pictures. My kids like to do it, and I'm just not the best at having them printed out. We have 3 girls, and I have the baby book for the first 2 and not so much for the third. And I hear about it every time we get pictures out. So I don't because I feel so guilty for not doing the same for all the kids. Anyway, let's see, what else did I have on mine? I'm gonna add a little extra into my exercise routine. And I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do that. But um that's one thing else I'm gonna try to do. And then um vacation is one of the big things on my list, which is the one thing that I'll be okay with if it doesn't happen this year. But I know we'll do something, but we would love to go out to California and see the big redwood trees and make just a we may fly into a certain place and then road trip out to it. But that's one of my goals that's on my board. Um, but so I want to look into that a little more and make a plan for what that could look like, knowing that it might not happen yet. Oh, Jennifer, you're leaving for tomorrow for California? How fun. Are you going to see the big trees? I don't know if your microphone is on. No? Okay. Are you going to see the water?
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, yes.
I'm going to see my daughter.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
My
better.
I went last year to my daughter's and we went to Yosemite last year
Wow.
and it was beautiful.
I can't wait. We got to go see the Grand Canyon a couple of years ago, and it was just amazing. And when I was growing up, we didn't do big vacation trips like that. So getting the opportunity to do that now is just really good. I love it. I love to travel and see places. And it's not all about doing the things for me. I love to just see the scenery. And so it makes me happy. Yeah. I'm excited. Well, have a wonderful trip and a good time with your daughter.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we're going to take, unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to wrap up with just a little bit of extra. But if you have questions, I want to make sure we have time for that. I did mention that we're recording this and that's going to be posted in our Facebook group that I host. It's called Fab Solutions, which stands for Faith and Balance. And some of you are part of that. If you're not and you would be interested in joining that group, let me know. Send me your email, put it in the chat, and I will get that to you as far as how you join. Or you can search Faith and Balance and you should be able to find it. Actually, it's Fab Solutions. Fab Solutions is the name of the group. Fab stands for Faith and Balance. But it's a community of women. We're all women. Where you can find inspiration and motivation and real solutions to everyday challenges. So for July, our topic or our theme has been freedom. And we've talked about freedom from clutter. This week is freedom to dream. And we're talking about vision boards. Next week is vision or freedom in finances. And then the last week will be freedom in your strengths. And we're going to talk about strengths and weaknesses. So we've been covering a lot in there, and we just started it last month, which was one of the things on my vision boards. So I didn't even write that down, that community got started. That was a win. But we've been covering a lot, and we may slow down a little bit and take our time a little bit more, but I'll tell you more about that in the group. Our next vision board check-in is going to be October 8th. Tentatively, as far as I know, that date should work. If you signed up and got the reminders for this, check-in, then you will get the next ones as well. I've already got it scheduled and set up to send you a reminder before the October date. If at any time you want to opt out, there's a place at the bottom of that email you can opt out and you won't get those reminders anymore. But just wanted to let you know about that. And I think that was all I wanted to cover. Sure, my notes. Oh, I mentioned the free coaching. Well, I mentioned coaching, but I am offering some free coaching just to help me reach my goal, get back on track. So if you are interested in some coaching and would be willing to be a pro bono free client for a session or two and help me reach my goal, then let me know and we can set up a time. And we can set up a time to just chat about it if you want, or if you want to dive in and set up a date, then we can do that too. So yeah, send me a message. You all have a way to contact me. So you can send me a Facebook message, you can send me an email. Peggy Ann, I will send you the information on the group and you can message me in there too. So make sure that everybody's messages here before we jump off. Okay. Did anybody have anything else? We're reaching right at an hour. We've done good. I'm just going to close this out with prayer then, if nobody has any other comments. If anybody does have anything else, you can stay on and we can chat at the end after the recording stops. So, okay. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you today for these ladies who have joined this Zoom call. We thank you for the technology to be able to reach across the nation, Lord, to be able to join together and work through this. We thank you, Lord, for the vision that you have given us. Lord, we set goals and dream dreams, but you have put those desires in our heart, Lord, and we want to do our best to fulfill your plan and your desires for our life. Lord, so as we go into this last half of the year, Lord, guide our steps, guide our thoughts, guide our plans, and help us, Lord, to make the right steps and follow your path in all that we do. Lord, we give you praise for it. And we thank you for all that you've done. Lord, we ask for safety for all those that are traveling, Lord, for Jennifer as she goes to see her daughter, Lord, and for all others that might be taking trips this summer. Lord, bring us back together in October, Lord, to celebrate all the wins that we have seen. Lord, we thank you and we give you praise. In Jesus' name, amen. All right.
Thank you.
You guys so much for joining, and we'll see you over in the group. All right.
Bye.
Again, I see your comment about the coaching too.
I'm hesitant to talk because every time I open my mouth, she barks. But I just wanted to let you know, yeah, I'd be interested if you have some time, if we can schedule some time. Yeah.